Well, I guess to kind of start with, before we jump into Coming to the Rye and this wonderful film, I want to jump back to you were on Monk?
I was on Monk. Yeah, that's a weird jump back. Yeah, I was on one episode of Monk. Yeah.
What was that like? Is Tony
Tony? So Tony went to Yale with my mom, and so he's been a family friend for a while. And I went and auditioned, and it was sort of just really fun. I think it was my first thing I'd done since Naked Brothers Band. It was one of the first things afterwards. So it's cool being on a different set, and I haven't seen that in years. But yeah, it was really fun. I remember it being really fun. There was a lot of kids on it, and yeah.
What's it like, looking with the craziness of what you and Nat have been able to do with music and then turning it into acting? Is it crazy how everything's kind of fits perfectly?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. I mean, it seems to be kind of working out. We do all this music, and we make these movies, and a lot of the time we get music in the movies. I have a song in Coming to the Rye, and most of the song, we have a song in Paper Towns, and a lot of the movies we do, we get songs in. So it's cool to see the two worlds collide. And I directed a short that's coming out soon. That I did the music for. So, yeah, I like when the worlds collide. They seem almost hand in hand.
I love that you guys share like social media together. Was that always something you wanted to do, or is it just worked easier? You could share the.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because we're not huge fans of social media to begin with. So, if we were if we're gonna do this, let's do it together. And we, Nat and I. Social media is kind of a little bit embarrassing in some ways. It's amazing in some other ways, and it helps. It's probably the main reason we have fans and people seeing our movies, and it's amazing. But it's a little embarrassing posting pictures of yourself, posting this. And I think I would feel weird having my own thing. I just want a public thing where you're just. It's better when I can share the embarrassingness with Nat.
Going from because you've done a lot more like sitter comedy, that type of humor. Now Coming to the Rye is something that it's a little bit more depth to what your character's going through. That jump, and also lines and just how big of the role is. What's that been like for you?
Well, I had a small part in The Sitter, but right after The Sitter, I mean, I did a show called In Treatment, which was a pretty heavy show. So Coming to the Rye wasn't sort of my first drama thing. I think I've probably done actually more drama stuff than comedy stuff. So it wasn't that big of a jump drama-wise, because, I did a movie, Hairbrain, that's kind of this weird dramedy, and Bird's Guide to Everything, which is more of a drama. So, I've been doing this building up, but I feel like Coming to the Rye was really everything falls on my shoulders, and everything is so heavy, and, it was such a almost traumatic experience making it. So I think it was definitely the hardest thing I've done. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see it as a jump from comedy to drama, because I've done so many drama stuff, but I did see it as a jump from doing a movie to putting yourself through hell a little bit. That's kind of the jump.
Well, let's jump into In Treatment, because I was amazed at because you and Gabriel's rapport is really amazing in it. And actually, Rodrigo.
You did your research. I like this. This is great.
Rodrigo's actually here. He's one of the panelists at the festival.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
It's a crazy world.
Yeah.
What was the toughest moment in Treatment? Because it is, like you said, it is very dramatic.
That was really heavy. Yeah. It was hard. Because also I think I was 13 or 14 when I was doing it. And it's all about a dad and a son stuff. And when, I had things with my dad, I'm 13 or 14, and that's what happened. So it was kind of, that was weird, because it was bringing all that stuff that I'd had at home and kind of bringing on the camera. But Gabriel became sort of a little bit like a dad figure. We just had this relationship where we would run lines, and he would tell me about what it's like to, he'd tell me not to get taken advantage of. He was really adamant about not letting people take advantage of me, which was cool. He's kept saying I can't do his accent, but he's got sort of an Irish accent, and he'd always say, "Don't let people take advantage of you." That's one thing I've learned over the years.
Is he laid back? It's
super laid back, but intense in his eyes. Obviously, he's got he's got troubled eyes. Obviously, as you can see from everything he's ever done. So yeah.
How much, coming back to Coming Into the Rye, how much did you dive into, not just obviously Catcher in the Rye, but Salinger's history, his life?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've said this in other interviews, but Catcher in the Rye was my favorite book when I was 12, and how it got brought to me was my grandpa, had a copy of Catcher in the Rye, gave it to my dad, or my grandpa signed it, gave it to my dad when he was 12. My dad read it, signed it when he finished it, the date. My dad gave it to my brother. My brother read it at 12, signed it when he finished it, and then gave it to me, and I read it when I was 13, and signed the date when I read it. So it's been a bit of a family history, and it's been my favorite book of all time since forever. I mean, it was like it blew my mind and broke my heart. It just was everything. When I read it all in a few hours, and then I read it the next day, and it just blew me away. So already I felt like I had a leg up, from all the other actors who are auditioning, because I know Catcher in the Rye so well. And what's cool about the movie is the script isn't just an imitation of Catcher in the Rye. It's about a kid who's struggling with, an identity crisis. He thinks he's Holden, but he's also got all this other stuff. And I think he's a little bit of a sweeter, more passionate, positive character than Holden is. But, so while I was reading the book every single day on set, I watched the Salinger documentary. I did all this research on Salinger and found out what he was like, and found out, kind of how crusty he really was. But he's got all this soul and this heart, and I just related to that. It felt very New York to me, and it felt, I liked it. I did research a lot about Salinger. I was kind of obsessed with this movie from the month before I started to the month after it ended. Like, I was just obsessed with everything that had to do with it.
So, who in your family read it quickest?
Quickest, that's a good question. I think I read it quickest, actually.
Really?
Yeah. My brother would argue with me. I think I read it quick because I read it in 3 or 4 hours, and I read it. He says that he read it in a day. Who knows what that means? A day could be a minute. A day could be 24 hours. I don't know. I think I read it the fastest. I'm going to say I read it the fastest. We got that on record.
What's the journey like? Because you are traveling around the country with this, and you are getting to show this to many different audiences. How's it been so far for you?
It's been awesome. It's been it's hard to watch a little bit because it's so heavy, and there's sort of like sexual, there's a lot of intimate sexual stuff, and it's hard to watch yourself go through that. And it was hard for my parents to watch me, start hysterically crying about a brother dying. Like, I have a brother. I think it's really hard, but to see the audience reaction is so reassuring and makes me so happy, because it seems like people really relate to it, and everyone's crying at the end, and everyone is laughing at the right moments, and people really respect me afterwards. And so it's been kind of surreal and amazing, because I've been waiting for this to happen.
Wow. Is it being able to bring it to a festival where we were just talking about the typewriter?
Yeah.
It's a writer-centric festival. This movie is all about not just Salinger, but the whole process, and about young writers. What's that like for you to be able to bring it here?
It's amazing. I mean, Austin is such a sort of prestigious place and such a hip, cool town, that to bring it to such a cool festival makes me really happy. And a big, well-known festival, it feels pretty badass to be here. And to get to be really part of the festival. I'm really in this movie, and I really put a lot into the movie. Any kind of praise. If anyone says they like it, like they go, "Oh, I really liked you in that movie," it's people think that you get sick of the compliments and stuff. But for this one, I am so happy and relieved. I'm like, "Oh, good. That's so happy," because I put so much into it. So to see it at this kind of festival is just like every day is reassurance that a lot of people like it.
So, where do you want this to catapult you? Do you want to be the lead actor from here on out? I mean, where does this go from here?
It's hard to say, like, I will only be the lead actor now.
Yeah,
I'm 17, but I just want to do good stuff. Like, a lot of people have seen it, and I've gotten movies since then, because I'm doing my 3rd movie at the end of November since then. And like what you said, it was funny what you said before about comedy to drama. It's like, if it's good, it's really good, and I've started to just to do good stuff. So where I wanted to catapult me is doing a lot of really good movies, and I don't really care if it's hilarious or if it's, you know, super heartbreaking like this movie, or if it's a really dark, almost terrifying movie. You know, if it's something really good and rings true, I want to do it. I really do, and I want to keep working. And I'm one of those people that's obsessed with working. And I just directed and starred in a short that's also really dark and really a really edgy lead character. And hopefully this movie will help people give me a chance to direct more and direct and star in movies. And I'm going to direct a feature and stuff. So I just want to do everything. I'm obsessed with movies, and I want to do everything and just a bunch of good shit. Like, I really do.
Well, tonight's Halloween. Last question. Who are you going to dress up as, or who would you like to dress up as?
I don't know. So I didn't have a costume because I don't know why. I'm just an idiot. I thought that we'd come here and the festival would happen and everyone would go sleep and everyone would be 7 years old. I didn't think about it, but my birthday's tomorrow. Everyone wants to take me out. Everyone's here from the movie. So I don't know. I might be Hillary Clinton. I don't know yet. I might be something political. I don't know.
Could you do like
I
Bernie
might be
Sanders
Chris
voice?
Cooper. I might be Chris Cooper.
Chris
I
is
might
here.
dress up as Chris.
You can pull
I'll
that
talk
off.
a little bit like Chris does, because Chris talks a little bit like this, and he's very sweet, and his voice talks a little bit, you know, with his teeth a little gritted, but it's very sweet, and I really like to be here. So thank you so much for letting me do this.
I think it's the best way to end it, Alex. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.